have the words to describe it, but I knew I was different maybe when I was 5 or 6 years old. I was an introvert as a kid. I didn't have many friends. I was also studying in a Catholic school. And being in a Catholic school, you're not supposed to be like that. And it's not really being talked about. I read about gay movements in the US. I read about the Kinsey report as a teenager. And then that's the time I outed to myself, or I accepted my being gay, and I was already probably 16.
Well, again, growing up, I had no exposure to any of the culture, the gay community and all that. Technically, I left home when I was 14 years old, and that was to come down to last 3 years at school in Adelaide. And after that, I got an apprenticeship as an auto electrician. So again, there's another environment where I don't have any exposure to anybody from the gay community. It wasn't until I actually left my apprenticeship for another job is where I actually met other gay guys. Like one of them invited me along to a social group of people with foreign partners. As a result of networking and all that is how I got in contact with Dex.
I don't know if starting a relationship with Steven was more difficult or easier than other couples. We're very different. So at first we had a lot of arguments, mostly about how we do things. And at the same time, me accepting of my sexuality very early on, it's hard for me to understand people who are still in the closet, which basically Steven is. Because him not being open to his family, it's not easy for me to accept. I keep on pushing even up to now for more recognition. It was not easy for my parents, and we had a lot of discussion. I gave them books to read, especially my mother, because when I turned 18, my father already treated me as an adult. So whatever decisions I made, he told me that it's your decision. Just don't bother us with your decisions. And then now, they are very supportive. And now my mother really likes Steven a lot. My father has passed away, but before he passed away, we knew that he was very happy that we're together. I lived most of my life in Manila. The culture in Manila is quite relaxed when it comes to the gay lifestyle. You can see 2 guys or 2 women holding hands. You can kiss in public, it's fine. And then I moved to Thailand when I was 26 years old. While Bangkok is much better than Manila when it comes to the gay lifestyle. Because in the Philippines, most of the transgenders end up working as sex workers. But in Bangkok, they can have any job they wish to have, like in banks or in fast food. When it comes to living with a man or having a relationship with another man in Adelaide, it's more difficult compared to Bangkok and Manila. Because here, I cannot hold hands in public because people do not only stare, but they say nasty things. We've made it as an unwritten rule that whenever we're here in Adelaide, we just have to be more controlled, more conservative. Which is sad because Adelaide's supposed to be home. I fully embrace gay culture. I think it's nice to study gay culture. I think what you see in parades is actually what we've gone through. It shows you what we have done, what we have accomplished as a community. We prefer to call it marriage equality because it's something that other people have privilege to be in, but we don't. It's going to help us in many ways. Mentally, it will put us in a situation wherein we think our relationship is just good as anyone's. Because right now, with no marriage equality, we feel like we're second class. It will help us in legal ways as well. For example, if Steven goes into a hospital like in an ICU and only relatives are allowed to be there, and then because we don't have legal recognition, I won't be allowed to be with him. And that for me is a scary thought. I think the world will be unchanged if marriage equality happens around the world. And eventually we will find that it's not very different. It will be a happier place, I think.